I don't even know how I'm gonna get through this video, because every time I think about this experience, it just makes me furious. It makes me in just so I'm just gonna get into the video. Basically, me and a few of my friends, it was about 10 of us. Okay, something's in my eye. So a few days ago, me and my friends decided to meet up at a pool. It was 9 blacks and 1 white girl who actually lived in a subdivision. This vehicle slowly pulls up in front of the pool. And so we're looking like, who is that? Like, what's going on? So we all getting out the car, kind of like gathering into a little, you know, huddle, meeting everyone, you know. So we look at the car and we see the window roll down a little bit. And a man shouts out the window saying, "The pool is closed. Y'all need to leave. The police is on their way." And yada, yada, yada. And he was very stern, kind of disrespectful, kind of, but you know, I didn't pay any attention to it. I'm like, okay, this is your subdivision, I'm gonna leave. So we all got in our cars and we proceeded to leave out the parking lot. However, I was gonna drop my friend back at her house so she could get her car. So as I'm going up the neighborhood, they're following me, like it was like 4 or 5 cars. They're following me because they don't know their way around the city, because we're in a different city. And so they're following me and I'm going up into the neighborhood. So I look back, and that same car who had said something, you know, said that we needed to leave, they were trailing us all the way to her house. So I'm like, okay, this is weird. I kind of felt like the Trayvon Martin situation, because they have no right to be following us. So I noticed that the car is following us, and my friend tells me to bypass her house because she doesn't want them knowing where she lives. Totally understand that. So I pass her house and I pull back to where the pool was. I rolled down my window and I asked, "Is there a reason why you're following me?" And he was like, that's when he started getting disrespectful. He was like, "Yeah, I'm making sure you're out of our neighborhood. I told you to leave. The cops are on their way." What else? He just a bunch of belligerent stuff. Like, he was getting very agitated that we were still there. We have every right to be in that neighborhood. If we wanted to drive in the neighborhood, we had every right to. I used to live there for like 5 years. Like, how are you gonna tell me I cannot be in the neighborhood? Like, you're freaking crazy if you think. Anyway, so I rolled up my window. I asked him why he was following me. He proceeds to go off on me in so many words. And then I'm like, well, you know what? I definitely feel harassed. I got your license plate number, and that's it. So as I hear all his bickering and him shouting out the window, I drove off at that point. I was like, I'm not finna sit here and argue with a grown man. Like, no. Okay, so after I drove off, my friends followed behind me, and I kind of direct them out of the neighborhood because I don't want them to get in any trouble. And I mean, even though we didn't even do anything, it's just the fact that he was yelling, "The police is on their way," and they didn't want to be in any type of drama, and I didn't want them to have to go through that. So I just told them to, let's just go. We got to get up out of here because it's just too much going on at this point. It's not even worth it. So they left. They left, and I told them we were gonna meet at some other location. So I still had to drop my best friend off to her house. So as I'm pulling back in the neighborhood, they're pulling off. I pull to her house. The car is in front of her house, and the wife gets out the car and is talking to her mom. And so I get out the car and I proceed to tell my best friend's mom the situation and what's going on. So as I'm doing that, the wife is just saying, "How old are you? You blah 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 blah." Just kind of, I forgot what she said, but she wasn't real. She was getting smart and having an attitude. She was like,
"Honey, all we did was tell y'all to leave our neighborhood because we had some vandalism and
all that." And I understood that. I was like, "Yes, ma'am, but there is a way to talk to somebody." As the 3 of us are talking, her husband gets out the car and he is like sprinting towards us, like he is just gonna attack me. So at that point I get very defensive, like, you know, I don't know what to expect. This man is crazy. Then he goes to say, "Y'all need to get out of our neighborhood. This is our neighborhood. We pay taxes here. You have no right to be here." Just starts saying all this stuff that I don't even feel like thinking about, because some of the things that he said were just so wrong and disrespectful and hurtful. It's like, is there a need to just go there. I haven't said anything to you. You have just looked at me and you have saw the people that I was with, and you, I guess, just judged us and just made me feel like crap. But I wasn't gonna let him know that. I was definitely going to stand up for myself, and I was gonna let him know that I don't handle disrespect lightly. So I just told him, sir, I'm not your child. I don't know who you think you can just talk to any kind of way. I don't have to listen to this. I was just, you know, stating my point. I was remaining very calm, but he, on the other hand, was just putting his finger in my face, yelling. But his wife had to just hold him back because that's how hostile he was getting. And I don't have to be sitting here talking to you and listening to this nonsense. I'm going in the house. So I go in the house, I cool off. They're still outside. I stay in the house like 15 minutes with my best friend, and they're still outside. I think they're calling the police. The police are on their way. That's what they're saying. So that's fine because I haven't did anything wrong. I don't care that the police are coming. If you think that's gonna offend me any type of way, call the police. So they did. So I stay in the house 15 minutes, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave because I have people waiting on me, and I am not gonna just sit here. I'm calm. I'm just ready to go. So I get in my car, and they're still outside talking to my best friend's mom. And so I roll down my window as I'm leaving, and my best friend is following behind me. And I apologize to my best friend's mom for having all that drama at her house. Even though I was not at fault, I wanted to apologize to her and let her know that, you know, it was just very inappropriate that what they had done. So we leave and we meet up somewhere else, and we're just in shock of how racist people still are, and it's just a select few. I have so many good Caucasian friends and role models that I look up to, so I know that they're all not like that, but you still have the ignorant people who think they're superior, and it's blacks that think that, and it's whites. I'm not just saying it's just Caucasian people that are racist. It's definitely some black people that are racist as well, but that's another video. Because I definitely learned a valuable lesson, and that is to always stand up for yourself. You don't have to be irate and go crazy and spaz out like he probably wanted me to. You don't have to do that. You just state what you need to, and that's, you're not going to be talked to any kind of way. You're not going to be you're not going to accept being disrespected, and you really don't have to say that. You really could just walk away, because as long as the person isn't putting their hands on you, they can talk and do that all they want to, really. They're just trying to get a reaction out of you, which I didn't give him, and I'm so happy how I handled that situation, because I don't have any regrets. I said what I had to say, and that was it. But I just want anybody who has been put in a situation where they were stereotyped or where they were discriminated against to know that it's just some ignorant people here. It's some ignorant people out here, and you do not have to respond just as ignorant.